Hi everybody, it's Dr. Lisa Ann Homick from Homick Advanced Chiropractic and Brain Sense Boot Camp. Okay, I'm back, just waiting for the FedEx truck to get out of the parking lot. That backup sound was pretty loud because the FedEx truck was right next to the window. But I welcome you to this video. It's called COVID Update. I'll let you know what the actual update is on. It's not what you think it is, but hey, it got you here, didn't it? First of all, I want to announce I'm doing an educational workshop called How I Talked Myself Out of Headaches. I'm going to teach you about the chiropractic key to the mind-body lock. And you may have an idea of what the mind-body lock is, and if you've listened to the videos, and I'm going to talk about that in more detail. I want you to unlock your potential, fuel your brilliance, and upgrade your journey. I'm going to put this announcement on my blog posting, and there's no set date or time because you're going to make the appointment. You're going to decide what format you want for this educational workshop. It can be in person, a Zoom meeting, it can be a group session. Pick your best venue and set your date. Look for it on the blog. So you're going to learn how to translate the old language of illness with the new language of thriving, free from unnecessary obstacles. So the title is How I Talked Myself Out of Headaches. So yes, I'm going to be talking about myself, give you a little bit of background and discuss my experiences. Also, these are some of the goals of the talk. You are going to learn how to question the old and break apart the inconsistencies with confidence. You will be able to do that. Also, you're going to take the time to reflect on your past aha moments to fuel your future aha moments. This is called self-learning, self-discovery. We're going to hone in on that. Also, this will not be a boring talk on types of headaches and treatments. I learned all that in chiropractic college, and let me tell you, not helpful. Not helpful. Besides, we don't treat, we complete, and I'll talk about that in more detail as well. I will also clarify the ABCD journey of the BFA protocol. Remember, brain first, body follows. And way back when I started my Patreon channel, it was called Countdown Live Up. And remember, I said if you could count down from 5, you could have an amazing life. Well, the ABCD journey would be the 4 when you count down from 5. That's part 4. Anyway, so look for this on my blog and let me know what other details you're interested in. So let's get to the COVID update. I am going to read from the latest Wise Traditions journal that came in the mail. This is from the Weston A. Price Foundation. And if you go back a few months ago when I did the video series called Your Poisoned Nervous System is Not Contagious to Others, the medical doctor from Italy that I was quoting, I was reading his article, wrote a follow-up letter in the quarterly journal. Let me get to it. I'm going to read it to you because, well, it's a COVID update. The author himself is giving an update. So, yes, page 3, I found it. Okay. Criminal Hospital Proceedings. That's the title of this letter. So people write, the letters are very interesting because these are personal experiences from people all over the world. You're not going to hear this on mainstream media, but it's educational. So this is Dr. Ilana Nerpi, medical doctor from Italy, writing a follow-up to that other article. Here we go. Criminal Hospital Proceedings. In my article questioning COVID, this came out in the summer of 2021, I noted that many doctors all over the world have noticed that the condition that we call COVID-19, the patients worsen upon intubation, leading eventually to their demise. To intubate a patient, that is to put him or her on a respirator, we use drugs that block the neuromuscular transmission, the exact cause of COVID lethality. So take that in for a moment. Neuromuscular, that means how the nerves communicate to your muscles. They are purposely drugging the neuro connection to muscles. You need muscles to breathe. You need muscles to move. You need muscles to digest your food. You have muscles everywhere. You have skeletal muscle. You have smooth muscle. They're important. They're important. Let me go back to the article. What happens in hospitals is criminal. One Italian physician was accused of injecting succinylcholine and propofol at lethal doses and not even for the purpose of intubation, thus directly causing the patient's death. Succinylcholine relaxes the muscles by binding acetylcholine receptors. The patient has cholinesterase enzymes that will remove the drug to restore the neuronal transmission and thus the muscle function. He gives a reference and the NCBI, NIH.gov. There's an article you can refer to. But if a patient has a low level of cholinesterase due to other drugs or to a genetic mutation, the effects of the succinylcholine will last much longer. So your body has this counteractive effect because your nervous system knows when something is happening that's not going to sustain life. Your nervous system is always going to kick in to protect you so you can survive. And he is saying your body will override the succinylcholine. It should, unless you're really damaged to that point where you can't. And he is saying if you have other drugs that are adding to this inhibitory response. But if a patient has a low level of cholinesterase due to other drugs or a genetic mutation, the effects of the succinylcholine will last much longer. And the patient cannot survive without mechanical respiratory support. So you've already shut down the muscles. You've shut them right down, and you need a machine to do the work of the muscles. Succinylcholine relaxes the muscles, but the patient is awake and aware, unable to move, similar to the so-called lock-in syndrome or pseudocoma. This is seen in the end stage of Parkinson's or other neurological degenerative disorders. But it's worse than that, as succinylcholine overdoses do not even allow movement of the eye muscles. Now, to me, this sounds like a nightmare. Spooky, terrorizing, when the patient is awake and aware, unable to move. To me, that's cruel. That is cruel and disgusting and abhorrent. Let me continue with the article. Anesthesiologists typically check the patient's blood concentration of pseudocholinesterase before submission to a surgical procedure to make sure there is not some genetic disorder causing a lower concentration of the cholinesterase enzyme, in which case they would need to adjust a lower dose of succinylcholine. Unfortunately, in emergency cases, this test is not usually performed and was not requested for the COVID patients, causing a massacre. These are his words, causing a massacre because of negligence on the part of hospital employees. An anesthesiologist knows what's supposed to be done. Apparently, it's not happening. The second drug, propofol, is a barbiturate that is also lethal in the presence of the extra amount of receptors expressed by our body to overcome microwave intoxication. So this is an interesting term here. Microwave intoxication. That's talking about how the electricity in the atmosphere, when it's so concentrated because of our computers and our microwaves and so on and so forth, they're so concentrated, that there's an overwhelming effect on certain people who have got this kind of cellular damage going on. I lost my place, sorry. Because if you do have exposure to high amounts of this microwave activity, you are creating extra receptors. Once again, your body is adapting to a situation. It will adapt until it's no longer able to adapt. That's how we describe disease. I would rather not call things a disease. Yes, it gives you an idea. It's a good way of explaining something to somebody, but we don't really get diseases. We adapt until we stop adapting. We're adapting to things that are negative to our survival and to our health. But let me get back to the article. So, when there are extra amounts of receptors expressed by the body to overcome microwave intoxication, for which barbiturate effects are magnified. The combination of these two drugs represents the worst way to treat COVID patients and explains why people mainly died in the hospitals. They died because the medications and the other toxic effects in their environment could not be overcome. There's a point of no return with the nervous system. To make things even sadder, I want to report also the tragic choice of burying or burning COVID patients without waiting the minimum observational time of 12 hours after death, as required by law. This is going to shock you. Why 12 hours? Why do they wait 12 hours before burying people? This is the minimum time needed to come out from a succinylcholine overdose. Theoretically, if patients were given these drugs, it is very likely that patients could have been burned alive or buried alive. There's nothing more I can say about that. I don't know if anybody talks about this on CNN or MSNBC or any other American media. This is quite eye-opening to me. And this tells me you've got to take control of your health. You've got to understand how the nervous system works. You've got to understand how to nurture your nervous system and not work against the nervous system. Your brain prioritizes. I may be just a little old chiropractor here in my little small town here, helping people recover from back pain, but sometimes back pain is the least of your worries. Your brain is going to choose what it needs to repair and rebuild. It may not be your back at that moment. We have got to dig deep and understand what else is your nervous system dealing with. What's in your environment that's attacking your nervous system because your brain is trying to survive and repair and rebuild. Remember, if I wanted to be a back specialist, I would have gone to medical school. I am here to talk to you and teach you about the nervous system and how your brain and your spinal cord respond to what's happening in your environment and respond to what's happening within you inside your body. We have really done a disservice to ourselves by poisoning the nervous system, taking the nervous system for granted, not understand what really needs to happen to have good health, how to rebuild yourself, how to thrive. People are just living below suboptimal. And it's time to educate yourself, because a lot of what's happening is not based on education. I don't know what it's based on, but it's cruel and unusual punishment. And if you're watching this video, I encourage you to dig more deeply into this. Thank you for watching. Share this video with your friends. I am a chiropractor, and the nervous system is the foundation of everything I teach and talk about. It's not about back pain. It's about how you are interacting with your world and how you choose to do things that help you to thrive. Because we need you in the world. We need your talents, and we need your full participation in the world. And every day should be better than the day before. You should grow your talents every day, even if it's a little bit of something. You should be doing something better tomorrow than you were doing today. I charge you to do that. I challenge you to do that. I want you to thrive. I want you to enjoy the world. You want to be on that journey? Upgrade your journey. You can hang out with me and we can do it together. I'll see you in the next video.